Now let's hear from the steel sector, and with pride, let me invite Kapil Modi, who's the executive plant head for Khopoli and Hosur, both with Tata Steel. Can we have Kapil with big round of applause, please?
Thank you. Good morning. Hope all of you are awake in the early morning. And here we are to discuss manufacturing. I hope all of us are from manufacturing, and we just heard Industry 4.0 moving towards Industry 5.0. But I think lots of industry also, lots of manufacturing unit in India is still, many of them are conventional, still thinking what to do. When you listen so many buzzwords and then struggle to figure out what I need to do. So I come from an experience of a group which has units as old as 100 plus years, as new as few months, totally built in-house as well as acquired. And last 5-6 years I am in a unit which we acquired from somebody. Highly conventional, lack of automation. I'll try and touch upon how to and share some of my experiences. Okay. Let me first, we all have heard of our Indian dream. We want to be a developed country. About 10-15 years back, when I used to wonder what a developed country could be, what's the differentiator. Key differentiator that time I realized is productivity. What's our productivity? Human productivity, machine productivity, how much tonnage we move through roads, how much tonnage we move through rail, how much we produce per acre. These are the measures for developed country. And there is huge difference. Our PM gave a vision 2047. What does it mean? I think we need to increase, possibly I have wrongly, it is 3.6 trillion we are currently, and we need to reach 30 trillion by 2047. That means creating 6 to 7 more India in next 20 years, 25 years. Just imagine you have a house, you need to make a new house or buy a new house, you need money. Okay, so if we need to make so many India in next 5-6 years, the country will be more in a project mode. You will always be generating new projects, executing new projects. But you need money to create India. Lots of money. Where you get money? So where you get money for your new house? Either your own saving or you take loan. Or somebody comes, an angel investor, this guy is very good. He will return lots of money, I give him millions. It happens to startup. So you are able to sell your thought, idea, somebody gives you money and you are in BMW. But you need money. And as a manufacturing industry, we need to generate money. So our existing business need to create money. Now let us see, currently Indian economy, manufacturing contributes for around 16 to 17%. And manufacturing will continue to be a very important part of our economy. About 20-25 years back, when I was into industry, I first heard that India is yet not into service. Service generates lots of money. It contributes to economy. But I still believe manufacturing have to be the backbone. Okay. I still remember in childhood we used to study India is a agriculture-based economy. And today we are discussing manufacturing. It has a huge growth potential, we all know. We have seen such transformation of country across the world. It all depends. When do we do? When do we reach there? I think last 5-10 years has shown that we will. I tried to Google that though current stage manufacturing accounts for 15 to 16% of GDP, what happens in developed countries? I thought it will be very small or very large. I had no idea. But I find even in developed countries, the manufacturing account for between 10 to 15 and even up to 20% in the economy. We heard emerging technology. You got a very detailed view of Industry 4.0. But we all know sustainability is the bigger subject now coming in. I don't know how many of you face that if you emit anything, next day somebody is putting on a WhatsApp. Okay? If you create a noise around society, somebody will put on social media. Possibly these days, the society is more aware and is forcing you to be compliant and be a good citizen than the enforcing authorities. And it will sooner be for all of us. And most importantly, global competitiveness. He just talked about NVIDIA and the DeepSeek. The other company killed Intel and got killed within few days. So none of us can be granted that our company will be live tomorrow. I come from manufacturing industry. We have sometimes mishaps. So in past, people would not know what has happened in factory. Somebody met with an accident. Today, within seconds, entire world will know what an accident. In our Jamshedpur plant, about 6-7 months back, we had a power failure, very disastrous power failure. And in such situation, you need to bleed the gas with proper, safe burning. It happened exactly same way. But within few seconds, entire world had a news there is a massive fire. It was not. And we had to work 8 to 10 days to explain it was not a fire. So this time, we are closing down a coke plant, which requires that gas to be flared. So we put advanced communication across that this is a planned activity. Whenever you notice that flame, it's very well controlled one. And what I'm trying to say is that technology, if it is going to help, is also going to put you on your toes. And you will be surprised where it can come from. Just some of the challenges I think we all know. I will address 1 or 2 of them in my subsequent discussions. Lots of issues around infrastructure. You want to do something, but infrastructure will hit you. But good that current government is trying to do a lot on infrastructure side. The second one, I think the most talked about thing in social media in past few days, 80 days working, 90 hours are working. Somebody wants it, somebody doesn't want it. I don't know. I think in this hall, there may be around 30-40% people must be working 55-60 hours a week. You can't afford not to. Why? Because work is more. You have to create another India in next 6 years. And only some of you will be doing it. You have to work. Why are they saying you need to work so hard? Because there are projects in hand and we are not able to complete. And if you don't complete, growth will not happen. So somebody will have to work hard. So how do we address, I think my previous speaker tried to explain, the technology will come in hand. We used to take months and years to train people to do the right job. Now all those people are able to create video SOP in few minutes. A shop floor guy can create a video SOP using his mobile with voiceovers and animation in few minutes, which we used to hire professionals about 7-8 years back, 10 years back, and pay thousands and thousands of rupees. So technology will help you. Only thing we need to how to use it well. And not get confused by so many buzzwords of digital twin, IoT, Industry 4.0, and keep on seeing multiple verticals of Industry 4.0. Regulatory hurdles, this will continue to be there. You just saw what's happening in US. One person may start deciding multiple regulations. Can happen tomorrow in Maharashtra, can happen tomorrow in some other state, can happen in India, any point of time. We need to be ready. We need to be agile and resilient. Of course, global warming and sustainability is, I'm telling you, Industry 4.0, 5.0, whatever comes, this is there. This is there. Supply chain disruptions, I think all of you must be seeing it. I think very well said. Now these few minute last mile suppliers, Blinkit, everybody is killing many of the shops, many of the businesses. Whether they will sustain or not, we don't know. Whether 2 years later Blinkit will be there or not, none of us know. Something else will be there. Varying expectations of the stakeholder. So we have a facility in Netherlands. And that facility is possibly the cleanest facility we have in terms of emissions, in terms of use of resources, one of the most efficient. But the society around that plant want that plant to be closed. They say, you're killing us. We don't want you. We have many facilities, but that's the best facility, but they don't want it. We thought it's Europe. So Europe is so aware, hence they are so finicky. But exactly same thing is happening in Odisha. The villages around don't want us to have any smoke. No water discharge, no dust. It will happen in India tomorrow. None of us will be allowed to do anything. Impact of social media, I explained you our power failure case. There could be many things. We have a policy where you are not supposed to click pictures and put on social media, but you cannot control it. I don't know how many of you could manage no mobile policy in the manufacturing place. It's possible? Anybody thinks it's possible? No, you cannot leave. Forget your people. Can any one of us, many of us, let's say there are few sadhus who can live few hours without mobile. There are some few sadhus who can wake up and have 1 hour without mobile. It's well, lots of people advocate it, but my first thing I touch is my mobile. First thing I see is my WhatsApp message. Maybe I'm not good, but I think many of you. I can guarantee next 10 minutes, 90% of you will see your mobile. So I would like to now touch upon what we are trying to do in the unit at Khopoli, which is very legacy. Very legacy in the sense, many of the units have zero automation. Many of the machines have zero automation. Now I come from an experience of Jamshedpur unit, which is Lighthouse, which became World Economic Forum Lighthouse almost 5 years back. And then I have to manage the unit where there is close to zero automation, where I have only people around. Now you just can't throw people out and automate everything. You don't have money also. I have to make money to earn the investment. So what are the characteristics? They lack flexibility. They have a limited connectivity. Entire Industry 4.0 sits on the connectivity and the data, but the almost zero connectivity. Okay? Reliance on manual process and people's experience, their skill, they're actually inefficient, highly inefficient. Okay? So lack of integration, OEs are low, KPIs are like, visibilities are very, very low. This is the simplest view of Industry 4.0 I could gather. Okay. What is Industry 4.0? What we used to do in Lean, Six Sigma in past? Hundreds of years ago, people used to observe, learn, look at the information and data, create wisdom. They used to pass wisdom by teaching. Then came in TQM, when you started collecting data, interpreting data, and started inferring the knowledge from that. Now you're talking about doing those which used to be done in years together, you need to do it in minutes. You have so much data. Okay? So you need to have operations, data generation, using the data you need to analyze, and you need to do decision making. This cycle has not changed over decades or over centuries. Technologies have changed. So I'll touch upon few cases, though I don't have further slide. I'll just explain what we are talking about. So when I first came to this place, we had only SAP, where I had some data. So I needed to try some POC on digital, Industry 4.0. Only thing I could do is use those data to arrive at the models which can help me schedule the plant well and reduce the losses, both in terms of utilization and the yield. So you use one mother coil, create multiple sizes. I could use these data to create a model to optimize these sizings. Okay? So one is you can schedule, optimize the business data you have. Well, I believe most of the companies will have ERP, whether they have automation or not. Another case, we consume around, our operating load is around 18 megawatt or 19 megawatt, and we know we are losing around 5 to 10%, but we don't know where. Now I can connect those 10,000 loads and do the analysis. I don't have money to connect so much. But I have those 30 data. Using that, I can build a model and understand what process is running efficiently or not. So there, using some of the data available, and I realized Pareto works everywhere. Your 20% data will give you 80% of the benefit. And the analysis which human cannot do, these can do. Third was using IoT, because we found it very difficult to replace all the automation, because you want to touch one, it will cost you 30% of the facility. But you needed the 10 data. We used IoT. But there we were stuck with the challenge, because most of the IoT devices come with the cloud, which is the manufacturer's cloud. So your data is going to manufacture. Now you need to integrate that data, bring it to your system. All the security risks will hit you. Company like ours will not allow to touch you. So my IT department, no, you cannot buy anything from outside. Everything has to be inside. So I cannot use IoT. Okay? So you need to then get it developed in-house, or get some of the vendors agree to all my rules. Okay? But ultimately we could identify top consumption money points, install IoT, use those data, start predicting. Start using building models and start predicting. Most easiest one is now CCTV. You can do for whatever you want. You can use for fire detection, you can use for safety, you can use for behavioral safety, you can use it even for utilization. You can use CCTV and do the analytics, say, okay, this machine is running only for 40% time. In this machine, operator is not available 30% time. They have gone for tea and coffee. You did not know. And one of the cases, we produce tubes for boilers. We give it to distributors, some of the distributors, and we give them a test certificate. The same test certificate will be photocopied, and another tube will be sold on your name. Gone. Huh? They are highly regulated product. One failure in the boiler can cause death of multiple people. So we used blockchain technology, where we are now stopped giving hard copy of TC. The final TC can be printed only by the user who will install it into tubes in the boiler. And the number of TC can be generated for the exact number of tubes we have supplied. So no photocopy is possible. So these are some examples through which what I'm trying to explain is that all of you, if you have similar facilities, please apply your judicious mind of identifying what are those very important data. Collect those data with minimal cost. Have your own team, preferably, who can build those models, machine learning models, and help you first by giving you descriptive and then prescriptive analytics. That's all. I have seen a benefit in the standalone machines, even up to 50% OE improvement, with very minimal data collection, but using it right way. Data availability and insight availability in fraction of time is the power of digital. What we used to come to know after months, you can know in minutes. Most importantly, it should not feel, the users should not feel it is an additional item. Because none of the people feel YouTube, WhatsApp is a new thing. They never realized when it became part of them. So these implementation has to be such that it does not come as an additional job, additional activity to the people. It should come very smoothly and integrate into your day-to-day life. That's all. Thank you. I think I did it in time.
No problem, sir. Thank you so much for your time, Kapil, sir. Do we have quick question? We can take one. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So, after going through the presentation, what I thought, I come from Ultratech Cement, and that is, the vertical is ready-mix concrete, to which we think we have been informed that it is low paper-thin margin business. So, coming back to AI, implementation of those things, what we found is the cost of even doing POC is, it stops us to go any further.
100%.
So how do you tackle with it with respect to your Khopoli plant? And
So I was wondering, recently I was discussing somewhere the use of Industry 4.0 in projects. Let us say an airport is being built or 400 kilometers of road is being built. How do you use Industry 4.0? Point is, if you can identify those very few parameters which is going to give you the most benefit, first task should be to bring the visibility of that data at the fingertip. That's the basic thing. Okay? Then, if you don't have fund for building those servers and building those analytics, because it comes at a cost, you just can't build an analytics software on a simple computer. You will require a server. First, use your own knowledge. So Industry 4.0, first thing is availability of data at mobile, mobility. Then computational power. So you can start using one by one. Every stage will give you money back. There's nothing called paper thin margin. It's all on your cost. The money customer pays you and the cost you build into the system builds your margin. Sometimes there is no margin. I work on negative margin. So that's not even paper thin. I have to bring it to first paper thin and then make it thicker. So the most important thing which I learned from this place is when you have older system and you have paper thin margin, you work on few things. It's not about POC, you need to get the money. POCs are good to let people test it, that's all. But ultimately it needs to generate money. Thank you. Can take one more.
So in the meantime,
Okay,
can I request
we
we can
will
take it
take
offline?
offline.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, sir.